craft your individual image, she started a company called Colour Me Beautiful, which is generally around the world known as one of the biggest and one of the very, very first companies that help people to understand how to present themselves, how to dress for their skin tone and for their likes. She has worked for 2 US presidents, and if you ask her very nicely, she may tell you which 2. So she's an absolute expert on the field, and we are so privileged to be able to tap her mind and to get tips from her. So please help me welcome to the stage on your feet, Mary SPILLANE!
Whoa!
You know I have years on you. Take notes. 63.
Woo! Yeah!
All right, OTG London on your feet. OTG London. The Londoners only. That includes everyone who, you know, the Hungarians and the Czech, all of you guys who hang in London. OTG London. Now, we have been such rude hosts. We have not had a big cheer for everyone here, all the rest of them, who invested time and money to come down to us. Round of applause for us. Well done, guys. Well done. Thank you very much. So wonderful. Of course, we expect the South Coast to come and do it. Richard and Christian and Darren, they're a lot, it's such a loud lot. And of course we get the folks from the West Midlands coming all the time. But to have the Leeds crowd, the crowd from Scotland, and the Liverpudlian even. Where are the Geordies? Don't we have a Geordie? Like, oh, market opportunity, Northwest, here we come. Northeast, I mean, here we go. Okay, yeah, because I think the energy and the diversity that we have here has been absolutely fantastic. So it is wonderful to have this session today, and I've been asked not to talk about actually the presenting bit, the content. And I think you had plenty of that yesterday with fantastic advice from Lars, from Nicholas on, you know, really do your homework. Do not think you can shortcut being an effective presenter, explaining about this if you don't know as much as you can know. And the learning will never stop. So you don't think you can slide by. I'm not a details kind of person. You've got to be. You've got to be able to explain things. You've got to be able to explain a compensation plan and write it out on an A4 piece of paper quite clearly so someone can get that. So that's a given. But the advice that they gave you to just listen and ask, what would you like to hear? And to drip feed the information is really the art of it. But what I wanted to do, what I was asked to do, is really to use as kind of the work that I do as a leadership coach, a performance coach, because every day of the week I'm working with people in presenting themselves and helping them to do that. And throughout our careers, we have to keep kind of getting an MOT and making sure that we're improving how we're coming across to other people. And I work with such diverse people, from indeed business and political leaders, to yesterday morning I was with 100 women who have been trafficked. And these are women that are now free, and they're trying to develop the self-confidence to even go and introduce themselves to get a job at Sainsbury's, for example. I also work with ex-gang girl members, girls out of prison, who are 3 times my size. And they have to go through a metal detector before I even get to meet them, and they're scary. And anyway, I had to tell them to back off and sit down, and how to build rapport when you're a tough chick, and get rid of the terrible Croydon ponytails, you know, that they have. Anyway. Anyone who knows me knows that you get it kind of straight with me, so I want to do that with you today. You cannot present this opportunity, would you agree? Would you agree? Without making a good first impression yourself, without knowing how to build rapport with people who are different from you. Easy with people that are just like That's different. And also, we have to inspire some confidence. For people to say, yeah, I'll go into business with that person. Do you think there's anyone that's ever had a coffee with Bridget that isn't inspired and doesn't want to be part of her success? I don't think so, girl. I don't think so. So that's the challenge. And don't think that all of you aren't capable of doing that, because you are. What you are is your mindset. Would you agree that when you have that negative voice in your head, any of you guys have a little dog that comes in your head sometimes, rah, 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 who do you think you are? Oh, look at you. Hideous. Right? Whatever we're saying to ourselves in our head, it creates how we feel. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So if you're saying negative stuff, you beat yourself up, you feel pretty bad. And when you feel pretty bad, you behave under par. Under par. So the key is to change mindset. Sounds easy. It's not, but it's eminently doable. I want you to get rid of things on your laps for the moment. I want you to uncross your legs and just sit there. Take everything, put the gubbins down, hands on your laps. I want you now, as you sat there, just to become aware of your breathing. Just to breathe as you normally do, and focus on your breathing. The inhale and the exhale. Slow it down. Be conscious of what's happening to your belly, going in and out as you breathe. I do a lot of research into neuroscience. I do mindfulness coaching. And one of the things we can all do is become more mindful by clearing our minds of noise. And one of the best ways to do that is just focus on the power of your own breathing. Little noise will come into your head. You could say, away, park it. Breathe. And the longer you do that, just a couple of minutes, you can clear your mind to create the vision, the dream in your head that you want. So prior to doing any presentation where you might be a little bit nervous, I want you all now to think of a time when you were the center of attention. Maybe in your past, in your personal life, maybe in business. You were the center of attention. Everyone was looking at you. You felt great. Everyone was listening to you. You were enjoying yourself. You weren't worried about what you were saying. You knew what you were talking about. Remember how great you felt. How everyone was looking at you. All eyes on you. Did that feel great? You all have at least one great memory of feeling wonderful. The next time you have to go out and present, and you're a little bit nervous about it, come back to that memory. Clear your mind and just go back there. Remember everything about that event, who was there, how you felt, what people you saw, and then you will be in the right state to go and present this opportunity. Get the mindset right. So, time to take a hard look in the mirror, literally and figuratively. And the poor boys at the Spark Center know that every time I show up, I've got my laser eyes looking at their shoes, their belts, everything. And I can give it to them straight as well. But figuratively and literally. At Harvard Business School, where I was lucky to go myself, advises all of us in business to have to get an MOT and get some advice as to how we're coming across. Be open to input and feedback from your downline, from your upline, from colleagues, anyone. Very important to get that about how am I coming across, how can I improve. Okay, Bertie, I'm always working on your vocabulary. Where are you, darlings? Okay, do you know this expression, honey? The elephant in the room. Do you know what it is, Bertie? Do you know what that means? No, you don't. See, I have to expand this bigger. Okay, Bertie, very, very good English expression. I want you to get this one. We all know what it means, don't we? The rest of us who know English. We have to deal with the elephants in the room. That's the big issue that everyone knows, but no one wants to deal with or talk about. Oh my God, how do I tell them that? Blind spots. We all have blind spots. Things that we can see about you, but you can't see for yourself. Things that you're noticing about me. I'm getting up a few people's noses already. I do this for a living. I'm relaxed. But I do. I know. Of course I have blind spots. We all have them. Find out, and it's our job as leaders and as sponsors, if you're trying to help someone succeed, and you know, oh my God, I can't believe he shows up looking like that. What do they expect? Or do they realize they just get so nervous they do not shut up, they don't know how to listen? Or that they don't look as healthy as they actually are because their posture's terrible. So help people with the blind spot. Constructive criticism from the right place, authentic. You care for that person, you only want them to succeed. It's not about bitching and being critical. Ask their permission first, of course. But give your people, deal with the elephants in the room. First impressions, we know they're terribly important. We formulate our ability and our instinct to make judgments very quickly. How many of you trust your instincts to judge people when you first meet them? And how many of you, rely on your instincts, right? Ever get it wrong? Yes. Of course we do. How often have you been, whoa, dazzled? Isn't he amazing? Meet him the second or third time, flannel. Oh, here he goes again, right? And then there are the people who've walked by 100 times, and then you get an opportunity to sit down with them. It's like, whoa, what have you been hiding? Amazing. They're generally in IT or actuarial department. The worst gig I've ever done. An after-dinner speech for 1,000 drunken actuaries. They didn't pay enough money for that. Okay, so people but what these people do is they make it too hard for us to value them quickly. So if they're anyone under the age of 30, the Zippy generation, millennial generation grew up with technology, you're only going to get 1 to 3 seconds with them. Remember Game Boys and everything else, bing bong, because of technology and how they grew up. Most of you are Generation X, Generation X, who grew up with MTV in the early days, 25 years ago, hairbrush in the bedroom. Yeah. And 25 years ago, MTV used to stay on a band for a whole 30 seconds before they shifted camera gear, right? A long time. So as a teenager, your generation, you actually give people about 30 seconds, a long time. My generation, boomers, you get a whole minute, your grandmothers and your parents will give you 3 minutes. We have no chance to do it a second time, perhaps. So those of us who say, oh, well, once I'm warmed up, I'm pretty good, you've blown it, honey, already in the first 10 seconds. So you have to be very conscious of how you want to come across, how you want people to describe you when they first meet you. Okay, so the first impression, lots going on, and as Bridget Wise has said, we don't remember the content. The words only account for 7% of that initial impact. 38% is the quality of your voice. The quality of your voice. And the great news is, we all learn how to speak, we can unlearn, we can improve the way we speak. I've changed the way I spoke twice in my life. I come from Boston, Massachusetts. Ever been there? Yeah. Matt Damon, he's from there too. And then I moved to New York and was made fun of unmercifully by the girls in the Academy of the Holy Angels. And Sister Jeremiah took me in hand and helped me round up my vowels so I didn't sound like such a hick. It would sound like Tony Soprano sometimes, or whatever. And then I moved to this country over 30 years ago. And I found a loud, positive, female, American accent-clear blues. Back off a bit, turn down the volume. They still move back. They don't run anymore. Promise. So, You can do things, but the body language, your image matters. We live in a visual world. Rather than say, it shouldn't be like that, it should all be about who I am inside, tough luck. I have no time to defend it. It is tough. Get with the program. Get with the program. Okay, so Darren gave some great advice earlier, JT, and many of you are using social media to hook up with people, sign people up, all the rest of it, which is fantastic. Guess what? You ain't going to sustain this business if you just say, oh, I'm a master of social media. It ends up belly to belly at some point. At some point, you're going to meet them. And you're going to do the kind of building rapport business stuff. So when it comes to building rapport, there is no magic bullet. We're all very, very different. And we've got to make sure that we respect and give the other people what they are comfortable with. As some of you know that you're more introverts, more extroverts. Learn how to be the opposite. Give the person what they need more. And remember, don't prejudge anyone. Don't prejudge. We can think we can size people up, but don't prejudge. And you had some great tips earlier about, as Bridget said, on the inviting side, still when you're presenting, you want to make people feel good, create some interest, and control yourself most and foremost. Do not tell them everything, and have some fun. Best of luck presenting the best for you.